Drove voters to the polls as well here locally. It was amendment number 2. You resoundingly are saying no to it tonight. The ballot measure would have allowed the General Assembly to send public funds to private schools. 64% of Kentuckians voting to kill the measure. In Metro Louisville, that vote stands at about 67% to vote no at the moment. WHAS 11's Alexandra Goldberg has been following this race closely, and she's joining us now with senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton covering the story tonight. Alexandra, you've been talking with both sides. What's the current reaction?
Doug, as you can imagine, no on 2 groups are celebrating this outcome, while supporters of the amendment say the fight isn't over. According to live results, every county in Kentucky swung towards the no vote. Now, looking at percentages, about 2/3 of Kentucky voters rejected Amendment 2. Kentucky voters rejected Amendment 2.
I know that our message has resonated, our message that public funds belong to public schools.
Will Powers of the Kentucky Student Voice team says the amendment was never popular in Kentucky, and this vote proved it.
I have heard plenty of times that our public schools are not meeting the needs of our students. I have heard plenty of times that we need to do more to increase opportunity for every student. But you know what I have never heard? That the answer to that is a voucher program.
Christy Mudd, a teacher in Jefferson County, celebrating at a No on 2 watch party in New Loop.
It just really shows that we truly are supported. Our communities do support public schools, and they are advocates for public education.
Downtown at the Henry Clay Theater.
I just think what's most important is just giving the parents the right, let them choose what's best for their children. I think that's what's most important, less government and, more on the parents.
Louisville's GOP conceded.
It's a tragedy for our kids, honestly. For our parents to be able to have a choice in the schools that they go to and to be able to get the different education components that they need.
Vice Chair of the Jefferson County GOP, Charlie Bell, says the fight will continue, but the messaging has to change.
I believe that there was a fear instilled that the public school system would be bankrupt.
For now, Kentucky's constitution will remain unchanged, solidifying public dollars for public schools only. Well, it was one of the largest drivers to the polls, and now Kentuckians have answers about the future of public and private education. Live in the studio and with photojournalist Alyssa Newton, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side. Doug.
Alexandra, thank you. Kentuckians did approve Amendment number 1 on the ballot measure you saw today. That measure cleans up language in the Kentucky Constitution and firmly prohibits non-citizens from voting in Kentucky elections. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams has already testified that this was not happening in Kentucky anyway, but he felt it was important to clarify the language to prevent it from ever occurring.